Hey guys, Lev here from Agilite. Today I'm going to show you how to set up for an urban raid. I'm going to show you how that differs from my traditional heavy negative warfighting setup. I'm going to set it up in such a way that I have my key critical items, I have some comfort gear, and I have some stuff just in case really hits the fan, we get to some civil unrest. I have some key gear that's going to help us get back home safely. So don't go kicking down doors without watching this video. I got your back. I'm starting out with the K0 plate carrier, of course, my baby. Now, when you open up a K0 plate carrier for the first time, here in the front plate bag, you're gonna have the cable management kit. So don't just leave this in here. Definitely don't throw it out. Keep this, you're gonna need that later. So the first thing I do is I fit it to the plates I'm gonna be putting inside of it. So let me just take my plates out of here. Take out my trusty, rusty operator plates. Get this out of the way. To get the best comfort and performance out of your K0, what you're gonna want to do is make sure that these shoulders are connected perfectly, and there's a lot of adjustment you can do to get it fine-tuned exactly to your body. I'm gonna show you exactly how I recommend doing this. The first thing I do when I have a new K0, I open up the shoulders, and I take this out. I know from experience that I'm a size 2 in the K0, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this at 2 down here. See there's a 2 in there. I line that up right past the line, and I go over there, and then I would put this back through the 2, and I'm not gonna tighten it down yet. I'm just putting it through, not tightening it down. I'm gonna wait till I have the plates in and get that perfect fit. Same thing for this side. So now I have these nice and loose, and what I can do is take my plate, push it in all the way. I like to kind of just leverage it in a little bit, push it in up and as high as it goes, and then I'm gonna close that up tightly. There. Don't worry if the Velcro goes around the bottom a little bit. It's sized so that it's going to fit a multitude of plates. Size medium fits 10 by 12s and it fits size mediums. Some of the mediums happen to be a little bit longer. Some of them are a little wider. Some of them are just wonky in all directions. Some of them are thicker. And now I can adjust the back also for the thickness of my plates. So I can take this over here and I can just make sure that it's, tight enough that it's going to be transferring some load to the back, but it's not pulling this back in a weird way. Again, this is something you can really play with. Now what I can do is I can perfectly fine tune how tight to the body I want this to be. Because for me, the way I like it is with the this part of the strap basically conforming to the shoulder and going right along it so you have a really tight shoulder weld. So now that I have that adjusted over there, I know that my shoulders are fitting perfectly, my plates are in there really nicely, and I can start adding stuff to it. Now, if it makes it easier, I can just take the plates out, but now I know that when I put them back in, they're gonna be perfectly fine-tuned. All right, let's get the Pincer placard set up. So, Pincer placard, as it comes, is gonna have these dividers on the inside for pistol magazines. Personally, I'm not running pistol magazines in here, so I'm gonna go ahead and take those out and save them for later in case I ever need them. So that's the first thing you can do. Then you're gonna have some desiccant packets on the inside. Pro tip, keep a couple of these, throw them into your gear bag. Keep any of these that you find, just keep them in the bottom of your gear bag. And it's gonna keep things from getting moldy, mildewy, stinky, especially if you're putting in gear that's like a little bit sweaty. It's gonna help dry everything out and keep things a little more hygienic. Let's talk about the Pincer placard. So the Pincer placard multi-caliber, it fits 7.62 by 39, 5.45, and 5.56. It's more compact than its predecessor, just as durable, and it's a hell of a little pouch. One of the main advantages of the Pincer placard is that it has a funneled mag well, just like you have on like a race gun, just like I have in my beautiful little baby over here, so that you can quickly and easily reindex those rifle mags and they slide right in. So in a high stress environment, you can do tack reloads without looking down at your plate carrier, and just day-to-day life, quality of life thing. Let's get this set up with the second layer MOLLE. So one of the big advantages of the Pincer placard over other elastic magazine pouches is the fact that we've made it into a modular system that has multiple front panels you can add onto it, so you can switch it up. You can set up whatever loadout you want. This is the new second layer MOLLE. So this is a really slick second layer that's gonna give you 6 main columns of MOLLE and then 2 auxiliary columns of MOLLE on the side. Let me show you how you quickly and easily attach this to the Pincer placard over here. Jean-Luc Placard. So first you're gonna start by getting these guys through over here. Pulling these through here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put these tabs through, poke them through here. What you're gonna wanna do when you're setting these up to get them perfectly fine-tuned to your magazines, you're gonna take your magazines, put them in. First time you put them in, you're opening up the Pincer placard for the first time. and then it gets used to the kind of magazines you put in. So if you're running 7.62 by 39, it's going to get used to those 7.62 by 39 magazines and break in over time and be perfect for those. If you're mostly doing 5.56, it'll break into those 5.56 mags. Give it a couple insertions and it's going to break right in, and just do some practicing, do some dry fire, and you're going to have a perfect pouch. So what I do over here, I put in the pouches and then I very loosely close up around them the flaps. Now I have my placard ready to attach to the plate carrier, and I can mount stuff on here and get it all set up. First, I'm going to check the ride height over here. Hook these G-hooks in. I prefer G-hooks over Swift clips. I think they're more low profile. I think they're sexier, and they say Agilite on them, and I just like that. I dig that, you know? Now, out of the box, our placard is set up to be the perfect height for a K0, so there's no adjustment you got to do over there. If you're putting this placard on a different plate carrier, you might want to adjust it a little bit. You might want to switch it out for the Swift clips or the SR buckles if the plate carrier you're using isn't as cool as ours and doesn't have compatibility with G-hooks and with Swift clips. I'm going to put a pouch on either side. I keep the front slick in case I want to load it up before I go out for something. If I decide I'm going to be adding more ammo than I'm carrying comfortably on my battle belt and here, maybe I'll throw on another Pincer single or something. But mostly what I do is I put flex cuffs or just big zip ties, and I put a couple of them through here, and then I have a bunch that are ready to go in the front. So the way I'm going to set this up over here is I'm going to put a single 40mm grenade pouch over here on the side. I like to keep a flashbang on me always when I'm doing urban arrests, urban raids, whatever. It's a great way to create some space. It's just an extra tool in your toolbox before you have to get lethal. Realistically, if you're clearing rooms in an urban civilian environment and you're not in a war zone, you can't be throwing frag grenades around. You get yelled at. So the best thing to do is sometimes just throw in a flashbang. It has a similar effect. It's going to give you that shock and awe. Micro molly on the back of this, regular little molly over here. But the top one is actually also a functional molly, even though it's at an angle to fit. Treat it just like any other molly. Now I'm going to put a Pincer single on the other side for my multi-tool. Again, trying to keep the front slick. The Pincer pistol is just the baby brother of the Pincer pouch. Same patented funnel mechanism, same durability, same yeehaw, hell yeah mentality. Just balls to the wall, insertions and re-indexing all day, no matter what. If I was using this for a pistol magazine, I remove the flap usually. For my multi-tool, it's going to fit best if I keep the flap. Boom, just like that. So let me just wire this in over here on the other side. Now that's attached, I can just pop in my multi-tool over there like that. Now I have access to my multi-tool across the body. Over here, I'm going to be putting a radio pouch. I'm going to be mounting it internally on the Minimalist Cummerbund. Okay, now I have an internally mounted radio pouch on this side. Just going to keep it close to the body. On the outside over here, I'm going to put an extra spare mag right over here. The low profile K0 Cummerbund has internal and external molly. So I'm just going to mount this single right on over here. All right, so I have Pincer single on the outside, radio on the inside. Let's move over to the other side. Now I'm going to mount a QD, attach it over here. Now with the K0, you can mount basically any QD on the market. Anything that has repair slits, you can put first spear tubes, Duraflex buckles. I'm putting the QD on the left side, of course, so that I keep as much continuity as I can. Someone's left. The enemy's left. Always think through your enemy's eyes. To the end, this is the enemy's left, my right. So over here, I'm gonna be putting a QD on my right side, enemy's left. The reason I like to put it over here is just because I'm a righty, so it's easy to just do it like that. Keeps it a little slicker on this side, and I keep good continuity of magazines over here so that it's placard, 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 single, like that. Now to do this, we have this patented system. You just rip that apart. Once you get past that Velcro on Velcro action, you have this over here, and then you're just gonna pass it through over there. Same story on any QD over here you're putting on. Velcro that over there and fold it down. Now you're gonna have the continuation of the internal molly over here. You have a QD over there. Easiest thing to do is gonna be to actually remove the plates so that you have a soft, malleable plate carrier that you can force and bend to your will. So make sure you're putting it on the right way. That's gonna match your buckle. If I put it on like this, I'm gonna have a bad day. So what's helpful here is going to be either the pliers on your multi-tool, or I actually prefer a small flathead screwdriver like this one right there. Something like that you can just get in there and just pop it up and over with. Now that I have this one, because I took out the plate, I can just squish this all the way over here, and it's going to make my life a lot easier. So now again, squish it down, and then I'm just going to take this flathead and just pop it over. Wiggle it around, make sure it's seated. Now I can put my plate right back in. Now I got my QD on this side. I can put my placard back on. I'm ready to rock and roll. Something I can and will do is to put an AG1 over here on this side. The reason I'm doing that is AG1 stays super flat when it's empty. Most of the time I'm not going to be using this, but if I'm carrying extra munitions, specifically like something I want to keep separate from the rest of my munitions, so if I have blank munitions, rifle mounted, gas grenade launcher, or rubber bullet launcher, or something like that, I'm going to put that over here on the side. And if not, I can just shove in an extra tourniquet into here, which is really nice. So let me just molly this on over here. Now I have my QD. I have an extra AG1 on the side. Now we can move around to the back of the plate carrier. Over here, I'm going to be mounting a micro map. In my opinion, it's the perfect low profile back panel for these type of operations, and any operation where you want to have something that's minimalist, that's not going to give you the bulk to make it uncomfortable to sit in the car. It's going to have all of the load carrying capabilities with none of the downsides, a ton of expandable storage, and just a great seamless integration into the plate carrier. Now over here, we have a MOLLE surface in here, and I'm definitely going to take advantage of that. I'm going to mount onto here a couple of pouches for my buddies to be able to access things externally, things I'm going to want to sort and have available to me or to others around me. So I'm going to put 3 40mm pouches over here and a GP pouch.
There we go.
Now I have 3 of these versatile 40mm pouches that can fit, again, 40mm smoke grenades, flashbangs. It's going to be perfect. Over here I have an extra pouch just for miscellaneous items that I might want to put in here and have someone else be able to access. I could theoretically put my nods in here if I wanted to during the day. Though usually I put them deeper and a little bit more protected. Now I'm going to put in our Sappy hydration pack over here. So best way to do this, just open it up, drop it in over here, pop this out on whichever side you want. I want it coming out on the left side. Over here in the top, I have a piece of 1-wrap that I can run through the top of the hydration pack, so it's not going to be falling down once it gets empty. Good to go. I can take the strap, put it over here. I can route it under here if I want. All the way up. And then I can use my cable management kit over here. And I have a couple attachments here that can work for this. So one of them is going to be just this guy. Closes on it. Super simple. I'll pop that in here like that. Okay, and another one that works really well for this is going to be this guy over here. Put that through here, over here. Now if I want to, I can also close that up there. And then over here in the front, obviously I'm going to use this Schlucker attachment, this hydration nozzle attachment. There's 2 ways you can use this over here. One, you can just shove it right on there like that. Or you can lock it in more like that. Go through one of these guys, and then you can pull it down there and lock it in and set whatever friction you want. If you want it looser, it's like that. If you want it tighter, you can really just lock that down. And then you want to lock this down even more, I can put this right over there. It's going to lock in all of that. It's going to be super nice. Now, all that's missing at this point is extra tourniquet and the 6-pack. Let's start with the 6-pack. The 6-pack is our hanger pouch that's designed to be the perfect size, so it's not so small that you're not going to be able to fit enough stuff into it. It's not going to be so big that it's flapping around. It's going to have front outmost zipper access, which makes it easy to zip with one hand. It's going to have this extra pocket in the front for smaller organization. I think the masterpiece here, though, is the flip around flap, which lets you put your tourniquet, markers, decompression needles, cigars, whatever you want to put over here around the back, and then access it in real time. Inside of here, there's also a waist strap that's optional. I love it. I use it actually all the time. You just hook it into the side over here, and then you have it basically as a fanny pack. To put that in, there's 2 places you can put it. I recommend putting it in the plate bag so that it's as tight as possible to the body and it's not going to bounce as much. You can put it in the front if you have some weird plate bag going on in your plate carrier, but if it's in the front, it's obviously going to be a little farther from the body, so it has a little bit more dangle. So the important thing when you're putting it in, whatever plate carrier it is to make sure that you're shoving the plates back in all the way afterwards. So let me just put this in, put it in the center, put it in like that. And now I'm gonna be pushing the plate back in when I put it in to make sure I'm not creating any slack up here on the top, and I still have a nice tight fit over there. Extra tourniquet, so I'm gonna put this one over here underneath the placard, just like that, and it's gonna be out of the way, and if I want to, I can throw another tourniquet in here, and it's gonna have 1, 2 tourniquets over here, and then 2 on my battle belt. Let's get it filled up. The way I like to stage my tourniquets is not in a closed loop already. This is something that Dark Horse Medical, I think they're called, came and taught us. A bunch of really nice SF combat medic volunteers came and showed us this trick. And basically, once you're here, you just come grab this, pull it out, and you're ready to go. And you can just shove this underneath the leg as opposed to trying to start from the end. As they explained it, basically a lot of times what's left of the leg will be barely hanging on, and it's difficult to get it around the shards of bone and stuff. So it's much easier to just lift up, shove this under like that, and then get going. So again, you just kind of fold like that, leave enough folded at the top that you can shove this into here, and then it kind of holds its shape. So all of my tourniquets are set up like this, everywhere, like civilian, non-civilian, whatever. I'm gonna put in my 6-pack right now, I'm gonna put my AGM handheld thermal, another goddamn desiccant pack. Keep my AGM thermal in there, grab this now, and I'm going to take my knife. Am I on a raid? Yeah, it. So it's critical, of course, to make sure that all your gear works well together. So it's important to try it all out together and make sure nothing on my plate carrier is bumping into my belt or vice versa. So let me just toss this on over here. Making sure nothing's bumping in the way. The 6-pack is sitting on top of the buckle, which is fine. I have full articulation. I can move around like that. I gotta try it out with the radio, so I'll put one in later. Basically, I still have access to all my stuff over here. I can quickly and easily get to the flashbang if I need to, but the flashbang doesn't impede me getting to this spare magazine if I need it. This is my slick urban rig. This is set up for matzarim or arrests, basically for raids deep into enemy urban territory. But in a more scaled back civilian setting, I don't need a machine gun. I don't need frag grenades. I still want to be carrying 4 tourniquets. So I have one over here. I have one over here in the back. I have one over here, and I have one over here on the bottom. I have a good amount of first aid. In a total, I have a good amount of magazines. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then 2 on the belt, and then 1 in the gun. Pretty good. 2 pistol magazines. I have 1 flashbang, plus the ability to carry more on my back for other people. If I want to, I can just molly on more pouches. I could, if I wanted to, put 6 flashbangs on the front or something like that. Although I'll keep this open. Never know if you want to need some gas grenades, something like that, so I can keep that open for different pouches. This is a completely different direction because my ammo here is on the sides. My front is fairly slick with some admin stuff and a frag grenade and a tourniquet mounted above the placard, which isn't something you can do when you have magazines because it gets in the way. Here I keep the back slick on this one, completely slick except for some identification, because over here I'm going to be wearing a backpack over it. Here I'm not going to be putting on a backpack. I'm fine with this. This has all the storage I need. It has my water, so I can be out through the heat of the day, be in a vehicle, be on foot, and I'm going to be nurtured and satisfied. I'll be fine. And this is all I need, basically. The main takeaway here is set up your plate carrier for what you need it for. I like to have 2 plate carriers, 1 for each need, but obviously it's not something that's accessible to everyone. So it's just important to have the gear so that you can modify it. That's what's great about Placard systems. It's super easy to swap things out. Cummerbund's easy to swap things out. You could have the Warfighter Cummerbund with your warfighting setup. You could have the lighter Cummerbund in reserve with a more lightweight, slick setup like this. And you can just up armor, down armor, whatever you want to do. I feel like a Call of Duty character. This is my slick setup. I'm gonna go out. It's the most important thing, basically be conscious of what you're putting on your gear and why. Have it be based on actual needs. and then stress test it in training and in the field, and then adapt. And so if I go out and say, no, this is getting in the way, it's annoying, bumping into it or something, I'll move it somewhere else, right? This, I happen to know, is a great place for it. If I get tired of reaching over here to take out my multi-tool, maybe I'll put it in the front and reduce the slickness. Important thing, be conscious of where you put your gear, stress test it, stress test yourself, move things around to be as comfortable as possible, adjust those shoulders to get them perfect, and just have a good time with your gear. Thanks for watching, stay safe, bye.